guys, what is up? Survival Kabad's here, and
welcome, stranger.
For today's video, we're going to break down the Resident Evil 2 remake trailers, and both of them to be exact. But before we begin, I have to warn you, you have once again entered the world of survival horror. So we're going to break down the first trailer because we all know how my reaction went.
What the fuck? No fucking way!
Yeah, Resident Evil, baby. Now at the beginning, we can see that this is the perspective of a rat, which is a reference to the game Resident Evil Outbreak File 2, and that does take place before the events of Resident Evil 2. We get the first look of the PlayStation 1. Now, Resident Evil did originally release for the PlayStation 1, and in my eyes was actually a clue that made me realize that it was Resident Evil Remake 2.
Hello? Anybody there? Something's not right. Hey, well, relax. Everything okay? You can't be here. I'm putting you under arrest. Stay back, sir! I've got this! Officer, you need help? What are you doing? Get off! No! Get off of me!
Now guys, cool lore tip. The rats were part of the reason why the virus spread so fast. So having them in the trailer is actually a pretty cool nod to the fans who liked Outbreak's intro and the lore bits. So right here, the sheriff doesn't have any RPD, anything on his suit, but he does have sheriff on there. But if you look at his badge closely, it actually has a raccoon on it, which is, in my opinion, pretty cool. This scene is a nod to the original and remake fans when encountering the first zombie. And Titanic Leonardo DiCaprio Leon is here to stay, in which I like.
Jesus Christ.
And here's the overshot of Raccoon City. I have to say, I like the destruction because I always thought it was weird how everything was normal up until Claire and Leon showed up.
Money's in my account. Always a pleasure.
And that is Hunk talking in the background.
Attention, all citizens.
Now, I did notice the Arca store, so that must be the alleyway that Kendo Gun Shop is at.
Due to the citywide outbreak.
Now, this is the clock tower from Resident Evil 3, but it is highly unlikely that we'll be able to visit it because Jill is supposed to be in that clock tower during the events of Resident Evil 2. Also, the man who just told everybody to go to the RPD, which is most likely Mayor Michael Warren, just basically doomed everybody, just saying that.
And don't make my mistake. If you see one of those things...
Marvin is back to give Leon insight on what the hell happened to the city. He might be one of those characters that actually had the chain's death, so Resident Evil fans, keep an eye on that. Also, Marvin looks like an actor, and I don't know what his name or what he plays in, but if you guys figure him out, I'll give you a shout out. But yeah, I just know he looks like an actor, and I can't, for the love of me, think of who he is.
Uniform or not, you do not hesitate.
This is where we start to play. You can see that there's the trucks in flames and also the blocked cars, which is most likely leading into an alleyway, and that's what I was talking about in the timestamp 151.
Whatever it takes.
So this is the same place where the sheriff died, and we will most likely be staying here in the beginning of the intro and where we will meet Claire, or actually vice versa.
To save this city.
There are zombies near the Raccoon City board, and of course, like everything, it has Umbrella written all over it.
Surprised you made it this far.
Need info on Mike.
So this is probably the scene where Leon meets Dead Woman in the middle of the streets.
Distraction.
So over here, instead of going through the bus in the garden, it looks like we're going to enter in like how we did in Resident Evil 3, which I feel is kind of cool. Plus, on the left, you can see the bus where we actually went in from the original game, and the jacket that Leon is wearing is most likely the Arklay Sheriff costume that you get for pre-ordering the deluxe edition.
Survival's your responsibility.
God damn it.
So this is our first look into Sherry Birkin. I'm getting a really Until Dawning feeling, and I don't know why. It's probably because of the lighting. I do like the costume change where it's more Western style and not like a Japanese schoolgirl.
Will you help me?
And here's our first look of the lovely Claire Redfield. Couple things to note though. I love her design. It's more stylish. She has a motorcycle jacket, feather necklace with a blue stone, which most likely is a birthstone. Now, if this is a birthstone, it will mean that she was either born in September or December. What the ROE team figured out is that she kind of looks more than just Caucasian, and she kind of looks a bit Native American, which is kind of cool because George A. Romero was planning on making the Redfields a bit Native American in his movie script.
Of course. It's an impressive display of strength.
That voice is most likely Annette Birkin. And we get our first look at Nick Valentine. I'm just kidding, it's just Mr. X.
But we never meant for this to happen.
And here's our first look at the mayor's daughter, which is weird without the blood stain on her stomach. And this scene will be most likely where our first encounter with the liquor is. And if you notice on the left side, it actually says stars. So we are going to actually meet the liquor in the stars hallway, which is going to be really cool since it's going to be in a different location. And first look of our beautiful statue with blood on it. And here's the front hall of the RPD. It has stairs and it actually looks a bit different. Also, I have to say, whoever that voice actor is for the guy that is screaming like bloody murder, that shit sent chills down my spine and will probably make me cry when I'm in a dark room alone with headphones on. You can tell when a voice actor is good at horror when their death sounds like they're getting brutally murdered. So in this shot, Leon has his signature handgun and a shotgun on his right leg, which means that you will be able to see weapons on your body. I hope that they still do the menu weapon switch because I feel if they don't, it's going to feel way too actiony. And here's our first look into the conference room. And the liquor is crawling sideways, which most likely means they will jump scare the shit out of us. And our first look at the lovely Ada Wong with her trench coat on.
It's coming back!
And Butt-Chin Leon for the win, which he's most likely referring to William Birkin. And we actually get to see Mr. X, and then...
Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Oh my God! Over!
Let's get on with the second trailer, shall we?
This is not how I imagined my first day.
Yeah, Leon, your first days at work always sucked. Man, I would really hate for a woman to go on a date with you. This is probably a scene from the intro sequence and him entering into the shop, it looks like. The doctor also looks like he's pointing at something. So here we see that the front hall is reimagined. The front desk is, well, in the front, and in the back, we can see our lovely statue, and instead of the ladder, we have stairs very reminiscent of the mansion in Resident Evil 1. There is also what looks like medical drapes, and the front hall is probably where we actually meet Marvin.
Due to the citywide outbreak, you are advised to take shelter at the Raccoon City.
Again, on the right, the Aruka store. Plus, the cars look like 90s cars, which definitely fit in with the whole setting.
Police station. Free food and medical supplies will be provided to everyone in need.
Man, I hope those free medical supplies mean bullets to the head.
Something's not right.
No shit, Leon. This is most likely the part of the intro, and Leon will be hearing scuffling in the back, and that's where we meet our first zombie.
Stay back, sir. I got this.
I don't think he got it.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out.
What the?
This man looks deadass like the Whitey Bite Me guy, which I do want to see a remake of that scene because I've always loved that scene. Right here, we get to see the rain effects in more detail.
Is anyone here?
Now, this is a remake of the hallway that is on the right side of the front hall.
Jesus.
I like how they managed to still surprise and scare us while not even being in fixed camera angles. I really hope this is not a quick time event kind of thing. I really want these grabs to scare me and matter in the game.
They're everywhere.
And right here we actually get our first look into a female zombie officer, which is pretty cool to see.
Where?
And there is the part of the clusterfuck of a scene that is the helicopter crash. Now, I just realized this while I was recording. Claire and Leon are actually meeting each other at a gate. So I think it's going to be where Leon's going to traverse through the city and Claire is going to go through the police garage and everything. So I think that's going to be a really cool idea to see in this actual game since they're going to have separate stories.
I'm giving you an order, rookie. You save yourself first.
Now here I could tell that this is a more emotionally driven story, and I actually do really like that. This is probably the part where Marvin tells you to just go.
Help me, please!
Cue the Melina fatality. Right here, the liquor is crawling through the window, and every fucking Resident Evil fan wants to see that come back. This is what looks like to be a black hand, so this is most likely the scene where Marvin turns into a zombie and attacks Leon. Right here is the hidden hatch from Outbreak File 2. Our first all-seeing look at the liquor, and this mofo looks terrifying.
What in God's name?
Now, one cool thing I found about the release date. So first, it will come out on the 21st anniversary, but wait, there's more. The North America release was January 21st, 1998. Japan's release date was January 29th, 1998. Now what's cool about that is that the release date is on January 25th, which actually is smack dab in the middle of the North America and Japan's release, which I always thought that was pretty awesome. So since I'm actually done with both breakdowns, I want to talk about my feelings about the game itself. Now, I know there's going to be gameplay later today and tomorrow, but I want to get my wishes out now. So, what do I want? I want little action. I want to be scared, not be an overpowered badass. This game is already perfect graphically, atmospherically, and is overall just perfect. I don't want this game to be a movie. You can still have cutscenes, but I don't want it to be everything. I kind of want a fear meter when to where the characters can miss shots if they're too scared, and it would actually create more immersion, and it would be just a cool mechanic to implement for a more horror feeling for a rookie cop and a college girl, and it would actually sort over some balance from the over the shoulder in some way. I do want to see a hunk storyline and also more Ada and Leon moments. I do want to see how this game plays. Over the shoulder is very actiony to me, and I want to see how the Resident Evil team battles that concept. One more thing is that I want brutal death scenes. Now, like, I meant really gory game over screens. You want to make sure the player doesn't die, or they'll see Leon or Claire's limbs getting torn off, neck bites, guts getting ripped open, and everything else. You can also do the death scenes in a first person view and have the zombie like be the first person, and that would actually give nods to the fans who like the intro to Resident Evil 1. So here's a couple of my favorite death scenes that I would like to see get remade. But yeah, that's all my wants. But before I close this video, I do want to have a heart to heart. The reaction I had yesterday on the live stream was genuine. I have said what the fuck at least over 75 times, but you have to understand where I'm coming from, and I am sorry if my reaction was a bit of an annoyance. Now, the heart to heart is that this game is really important to me. Resident Evil 2 is the reason why I play horror and survival horror games so much and watch horror movies and all that. Now, I started playing Resident Evil when I was extremely young, and my first one was Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 is why I love the franchise. It's the game that everybody can come in agreement on as the best in the series. It's the one that made a lot of people fall in love with survival horror. For example, I wouldn't even be playing Corpse Party on my PSP emulator or Corpse Party Blood Drive on my Vita if it wasn't for Resident Evil. Now, yes, I am saddened that there is no fixed camera angles, but this game needs to sell. So having the third person or the over the shoulder would bring more casuals into this game. Now, let's take the time, because this is a remake, to introduce the game to friends, family, and other fellow gamers who aren't familiarized with the series. A lot of my friends are pre-ordering this because we love the franchise and because they found interest into the game. We're going to have more people come to this franchise more than ever because this is the Resident Evil remake. Now, I am planning on playing this game with my 9-year-old sister. Just like how my stepfather did with me when I was a young one. If you have kids, this is an amazing time to show them what you grew up on, what you were excited about. A couple months ago during the anniversary, we almost destroyed the RE2 community because of camera angles and everybody just being bitter about the no news. It almost got torn to shreds like the cop in the trailer, and I was part of the reason, and I do really regret it. But we have changed. These two trailers changed most people's minds. And remember, if you hate how this is, if you hate the over the shoulder, you'll always have the original, and there is most likely going to be mods for the PC to where you can actually play fixed camera angles. So to close this off, I want to say I'm very happy about this game. I'm happy how this turned out. I'm happy that they showed it for E3 because I've been the hypest that I've ever been with any fucking game I've ever played ever. Even more hyped than Mortal Kombat, even more hyped than the Ninja Turtles in Injustice 2, even more hyped than just any game that I've ever played. This has been the most hype. And I want you, the viewer, to teach people about this game. I want you to be the one that shows people what this game can really be. Now, teach people this game and get them ready for the best remake known to man. Get them ready for
Resident Evil